This just in, breaking news from Holy Cross High School, an inside look at Monomus, Indiana Jones version. Indiana Jones graduated at Chicago University and he teaches archaeology. His friend Marcus confronts him about a mission he was offered. Marcus asks him to go to Cairo and stop the Nazis from finding the Lost Ark. Hood agreed to go, but he didn't have the money. This is also known as the call to adventure in a Monomus world. Although he wants to go, he cannot because he doesn't have enough money. This is known as the refusal to call. Paul, Indiana, and Marianne then go into the Nazi-invaded land of Cairo to help them find the location of the Lost Ark. When they are there, they run into their old friend Salam. Later on in the movie, while Jones is still investigating the Nazis' archaeological site for more evidence of the Lost Ark, he stumbles upon his friend Marianne, whom he thought had been killed. When Jones finds out that Marianne is alive, but has been kept along as a prisoner, he wants to free her. This marks as a woman as temptress, but he soon realizes that if he frees Marianne, then the Nazis will know that he is there and alive. Therefore, he lets the enemy keep her and does not free her. The temptation was there, but he did not fall for it. The next substantial part of the hero's journey happens when Indiana Jones finally uncovers the Lost Ark and therefore finds its godlike power it possesses. This is the ultimate boon because the hero comes into contact with holy powers of the Lost Ark. The Lost Ark is located in a deep, dark pit full of snakes. This marks yet another road of trials because it creates a huge barrier between the hero and his goal. Indiana Jones' worst fear is snakes, and he is forced to get over his fear if he wants to accomplish what he came for. The rescue from without happens when Marianne and Jones are trapped in the underground pit of snakes all alone with no weapons against them because their torches have gone out. Suddenly, Jones gets the brilliant idea that if he knocks down one of the pillars in the room, it will create an escape route and then the walls will crumble down. Sure enough, Indiana Jones' plan was successful and he and Marianne made it out of their supposed grave alive. This is the rescue from without, even if there is no physical rescuer that comes and saves their lives. The crossing of the return threshold happens when the Lost Ark is again captured by the Nazis. The power is unleashed upon them and it ends up killing them because the Nazis are evil and the Lost Ark is holy. Indiana Jones and Marianne survive because Jones instructs Marianne not to look at the Lost Ark. They both get away and the Ark is Jones for taking since the enemy is finally dead. The freedom to live is when everything is over and the Ark is put into a crate box and hidden in a huge storage place full of crates. Done.
Reporting here from India, it seems as if an archaeologist named Dr. Jones has crashed his plane and landed here. With Dr. Jones is an 11-year-old boy.
I'm short and round!
And middle-aged woman.
I'm Willie! The three of them are unharmed. The people of India bow down to them, for the gods have answered their prayers. The people of India pray to the Hindu god Shiva that a great hero will stumble upon them and help them find the last stone that's a part of their shrine and find all the kidnapped children from the war. The stone is called the Sivalinga. Indiana and his two partners run and get in a coal mining car, and the evil Mola Ram people are behind them, chasing them all through the mines. After the mine chase to escape the temple, the trio emerge above ground and are again cornered by Mola Ram people and all his men. On the rope bridge on both sides, over the gorge of crocodile-infested rivers. Flowing within, one end of the rope is cut and the bridge fell. The trio make it to the top of the mountain with a stone. Mola Ram did not make it, for his body did no justice. It was given up to the crocodiles. Indiana and his partners gather the rescued children and return home, including the stone. The stone was placed back in the shrine, and the children run around trying to reunite with their families. The trio was blessed, and all the villagers thank them and praise them. There seems to be a relationship between Dr. Jones' journey and monomyths. The freedom to live. When Dr. Jones goes to Pankot Palace and risks his life for all the children in the village of India, Dr. Jones did his job and fought for the lives of others. He brought the kids back to their families, and for that, he is a hero. Also, another monomyth is the magical flight. When Dr. Jones and his partners crashed and landed in India, the people of India believe that the god Shiva has answered their prayers and that the stone will be returned to the sacred shrine, and their children will be reunited with their families. Also, the master of two worlds. When Dr. Jones and his partners ate at the Pankot Palace and gave praise to their prince, Dr. Jones and his partners had to eat food from a different world, you might say. They ate snake's surprise, which was a snake that had black leeches inside of it. They also ate beetles and eyeball soup. The crossing of the return threshold. When Dr. Jones takes over the plane and attempts to fly it, he has to think fast because the plane's engines won't start. He goes to the back of the plane and finds an inflatable boat, and the three of them jump out of the plane and they land in the water on top of the boat. The rescue from without. When Short Round attacks the Prince of Pankot because the prince is hurting Indiana by sticking a pin in Indiana's voodoo doll. Short Round removes the pin and burns the prince to wake him up from his trance he was in. Indiana then runs away from the machine that was going to crush him. Refuse of return. When Short Round refuses to live on the streets, instead he becomes attached to Dr. Jones. He feels like Dr. Jones is like a father to him. He goes on every journey with him and expects nothing less. Temptress of women. When Willie Scott has been set into a trance, she was in a cage about to be given up for a human sacrifice. Indiana snapped out of his trance and knocked out the tribal leaders and raised the cage out of the fiery death hole beneath the ground and saved her life. The call to adventure. When Dr. Jones asked to go to the Palace of Pankot, to retrieve the stone and bring back the children that were kidnapped during the war. The road of trial. When Dr. Jones starts his journey to find the lost children and return the sacred stone to the sacred shrine. Entering the belly of the whale, when Dr. Jones drank the blood that made him fall into a deep sleep, his trance made him fall under the powers of Mola Ram and destroy his friends. Reporting here in India, Dr. Jones and his partners returned the children and the stone back to the village unharmed and happy to help. The great hero Indiana Jones is now on his way back to his hometown.
Indiana Jones is so full of adventures, as you've seen in our previous segment all about India. I'll discuss another one of his trials given to him from him. Indiana Jones starts an adventure as a Boy Scout and discovers a cross which was an artifact that had been stolen, and he tried to get it back as a little boy, but he fails. He writes about becoming a teacher and becoming one of the main men to go to when artifacts are involved. Indiana gets a call to adventure to go on a journey to discover the Holy Grail and save his father, which he says takes place in Venice. His call to adventure begins when he's requested by Walter Donovan, a wealthy man who needed him to discover this grail. Indiana tells us in his diary that he didn't want to go at first, but when he hears that his father has been missing, after Donovan went to him, he couldn't refuse the call. He then arrives in Venice with a colleague, Marcus, and one sent by Donovan, whose name was Elsa. Indiana's first threshold crossing was after he knows the resting place of the Grail, and starts with the story of the three knights his father used to tell him. He sets out to find Sir Richard's tomb, which he discovers is an old church converted to a library which secrets were hidden in the manuscripts his father left him. Then his road of trial begins. When he is gunned down and chased out of this library by a secret society set out to hide the whereabouts of the Grail, leading to the finding of the capture of his father by Nazis. Hide Hitler. Then comes the belly of the whale. When Indy finds his father and becomes captured, the manuscript is stolen, and Indiana goes into a detail about his findings of Elsa and Donovan working with the Nazis in search of the Grail. Indy then writes about his atonement with his father, finally being able to talk and reason with him, later gaining his apotheosis to regain the manuscript from Elsa, keeping the need for using the Grail for evil out of the Nazis' hands. His magical flight then takes place when Indiana discovers the Nazis gain information of the location of the Grail and races them to the Temple of the Sun, but is beaten by Donovan. Then his story gets better with the ultimate boom as he explains when he entered the resting place of the Grail and is forced to overcome the trials to save his father's life, who Donovan shot to force Indy to retrieve the Grail from the Nazi Knot. Then, with luck, he gets the rescue from without when he makes it through the trials and the night guarding the Grail tells him he has to choose a cup. Donovan followed him and with arrogance chose the wrong cup, which led him to his death. With the crossing, the return threshold, Indy returns to his father's side with the help of Elsa with the right cup to save his life. The Master of Two Worlds comes about when the Holy Grail is lost after trying to be taken from the temple, and Elsa dies trying to get it. Indy, however, did not die, but nearly did, trying to reach his completed quest with the satisfaction from finding and drinking from the cup of Christ. Indy ends his story with his explanation of his freedom to live. Now that the Grail is gone, he began his journey home on a horse and ends his adventure with knowledge, experience, and a lesson. Indiana conquered his enemies and fulfilled his task. That's our segment.
I am short and round. Ooh, short and round. Short and round. Short and round.